and holy shiitake mushrooms. So Upper Park Lake is there. Good morning, welcome to Cooley Outdoors. I am your host, Brandon Scott, and with me today is Nash.
Hello.
And yeah, it's been a little while. It's been a month and a week since our last adventure out at the ocean.
Too long.
Too long, yes. There's a couple of good reasons for that. First of all, I'd like to point out this is the second coldest April Seattle has ever had. So it's been neither good enough for skiing. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have still skied after the grooming's been done, but we're not professional enough to do that. So we haven't been really able to go ski. And it's been too cold for a lot of the trails to start melting out. Even low elevation river trails like what we're going to do today has been meh.
Yeah.
And secondly, a fishing boat caught on fire in Tacoma's harbor.
Oops.
And I work for a company that responds to stuff like that. So for the last 2.5 weeks, I've been working 12-hour night shifts babysitting the fire. So yeah, when I go work from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., I don't really have the energy to go stuff.
Yeah.
Anywho, this morning, today's first adventure, hopefully we'll do lots of stuff today, but the first adventure is the White Chuck Bench Trail, which is trail 731. We are in the Darrington Ranger District of the Mount Baker Snoqualmie National Forest, just outside of Darrington. And it being April and it being cold and anything high elevation is still snowed in, we are doing a low elevation trail, which is what you do in April and May, is you go do river trails and get wet, or you go out to the desert and hope for better weather. And I don't know, didn't feel like going out to the desert this time around, although there's plenty of good desert trails we will go do eventually. But so we're doing a low elevation river trail along the White Chuck River, which drains off of Glacier Peak, the forgotten volcano. Hopefully we will do some trails later in the summer where we get better views of Glacier Peak, and I will post that right there. Hopefully it'll be Lost Creek Ridge. Anywho, so we're gonna go do a nice long river walk in the sogginess and in the moss and in the fog and in the goodness. Thank you for joining us. So being that this is a low elevation river trail that you can do pretty much any time of the year and doesn't have what people call the exciting views, no big lake to go to, no mountain view to go do, no up high stuff, cool stuff to go see. It's not in very many books. The Glacier Peak book, the Central Cascade books, the normal things that cover this area doesn't cover this trail because it's low elevation. But the old standard, which somebody needs to go make a fresh version of this, whether it is Mr. John Zilli himself or somebody else, needs to go make another expanded version of this. Beyond Mount Si, the best hikes from the 85 miles of Seattle. Hike number 58, White Chuck Bench. 13.5 miles out and back. There are 2 trailheads to this, so it goes road point to road point. So you can go from either direction. We're starting at the downstream end because A, it's closer to Darrington, and B, the road that accesses the other side, the White Chuck / Rat Trap Pass road, is washed out before you get to the other trailhead, so you can't access the other trailhead at this point in time. Hopefully it gets fixed. Anywho, low point 1,060 feet, nice little elevation trail. You can do it almost any time. High point 1,600 feet. Might be a little snowy. Anyhow, blah, 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 blah. It says it's currently closed, but this book is at least 15 years old, so it is not, because we are here and people have done it, because the Forest Service freshly brushed this trail last summer, so it should be nice and wide and pretty, like Mineral Creek Park Trail, if you remember that. Post that video there. So anywho, yada, 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 river trail, river trail, river trail. The first 1.5 miles, we won't be along the river, and for the rest of that, we will be. And it's going to be nice and wet and soggy and super exciting. The current forecast is
Rain.
50 degrees and rain.
Supposed to clear up, though.
Supposed to stop raining and be decent for most of the afternoon. On a side note, just of how cold it's been, we got up to 61 yesterday, and that's the warmest it's been all April by a lot.
Yeah, right now it's like 50.
Right now it's like 52, and it's still hot. Alrighty. Official start time is 9:13 a.m. White Chuck Bench Trail number 731. Crystal Creek 6 miles, which is to the creek, and then I think there's supposed to be a trail junction that goes up the creek, crosses the road of Rat Trap Pass to the Crystal Creek trailhead, and then you can go up there. So that's what that's signifying. There's parking lot for the Crystal Creek Trail and Meadow Mountain trails actually along the road. But of course the road is washed out at the moment, so we shall see what that brings. So there's Clank. Say goodbye to Clank. Bye, Clank. And now...
That's gonna be a thing. That's gonna be a thing.
That might be a thing. I haven't done it for the first 2 years of this channel, but you know, we're always striving to get better here, YouTube. So I didn't plug the microphone into the camera today because it's soggy enough and I don't expect there to be any wind. So if there's a noticeable sound quality difference compared to when we were at the ocean, that is why. But again, it's not supposed to be windy and it's soggy, so it shouldn't make that much of a difference. I'm going to double check to make sure that the camera is free of fingerprints, which it is. It's got a couple of raindrops on it, but you know what? I can wipe that off every once in a while. So yes, this is one of the multitude of trails off the Mountain Loop Highway that goes into and out of the mountains between Arlington to Darrington, and then sweeps down and around to Barlow Pass and then out to Granite Falls, which we have not done much of. Like I said, I've tagged a couple of future videos in there, and we were down skiing not too long ago up the other side of the Mountain Loop Highway to Big 4 Mountain. I will post that there. So that's 3 videos I've tagged in this now, and YouTube only lets you put 5 video cards in per video, so I gotta really pay attention now because there's probably going to be at least one long exposure of the river when we stop somewhere along the way. But what did I talk about? What have I talked about so far? I've got skiing, I've got the future Lost Creek Ridge, and there was something else. What was the other thing I was talking about? Crap, can't remember.
Today?
Yeah.
Sauk River, right? Sauk Road.
Did I pop that?
I think you did.
I know I popped 3 things.
We popped too many already.
I just did the skiing.
Yeah.
I did the future Lost Creek Ridge, and there was one other thing I can't remember. And YouTube only allows you 5 cards, and there's going to be one more card at least for the long exposure. So that leaves me one more left.
Oh, was it asbestos?
No, I don't think it was asbestos. Whatever, we'll scoot. So I want to leave one more open for something else, which is probably going to be maybe waterfalls if we go find that. But so the White Chuck River's down there somewhere, and if there was no clouds in the way, we probably would get a half decent view of Glacier Peak right in front of us somewhere.
Of course.
But you know, that's fine. So White Chuck River down below drains off of Glacier Peak. Well, then why is it called White Chuck River? Well, up and to our left somewhere is the massive ridgeline that culminates in White Chuck Mountain. And if I pull my hiking app out and actually look at the elevation, I can tell you what White Chuck Mountain's elevation is. Give me a couple seconds. White Chuck Mountain, which has a couple of lakes on top and a small remnant glacier, comes out to be 6989. Nice. So almost 7,000 feet, and it's big and it's beautiful. And like I said, we haven't done Mountain Loop Highway enough, and we haven't done a lot of stuff enough out here. But we're gonna try and change that this summer with a couple of hikes into the Glacier Peak wilderness, get some views of Glacier Peak, and there's supposed to be some good, really good waterfalls out here too. So we'll go check that out. But first 1.5 miles is gonna be up here on this bench, and then we'll cross Black Creek on a nice bridge at 1 mile, and then drop down and be along the river for the last 4-ish miles of the trail. So plenty of river views. I believe that's Meadow Mountain. Let's see. Although no, that's on the other side of the, no, that's on this side. That is, oh, that's the backside of Mount Pugh. So come hither. So that low point is Stewjack Pass. There's a trail that goes all the way up there, and then there's a boot path that you can go up to top of Mount Pew, which is something I want to do. I won't tag it in this video because then I'm gonna run out of tags, but that is a destination I would like to go eventually. That is one of the main reasons why I first started seriously looking into hikes in the Mountain Loop Wilderness, because I saw pictures of that trail and what the views are and what the top of what up at Stewjack Pass looks like. I'm like, that looks cool as hell. It is a thigh burner, YouTube, be warned. It is a bun burner, but all bun burners are good. Viewage, viewage, viewage. Look at that big, holy shit, we should not be standing here.
Yes, we should.
That's a big landslide scarp. Huh. So yeah, YouTube, don't stand here. This is dangerous.
We'll stand here for you.
We'll stand here for you. Alrighty. So yes, right in front of us there is Mount Pew. And then the snowy toplets up there. That might be Sloan. Maybe. Yeah, Sloan's on that side. So that might be the base of Sloan. And then Glacier Peak is going to be, I believe, that way? No, Glacier Peak's going to be on the back side of Pew. We can't see it from here. So, Sauk River comes from over there. White Chuck River comes in from over there, and we're going that way. And the Mountain Loop Highway goes that direction, up the Sauk River and up to Barlow, and then down the Stillaguamish. While I am here, I should get a picture. Yes, so pretty. Indeed. Yes, so pretty.
I got you pointing.
Yeah, professional. But yeah, that's a yeah, and I'm sure we're overhanging.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, nope, we're done here. Continue.
You're done here.
Yeah, I am. At this point, I don't even care if you died. There's nothing I can do to explain to your mother anymore. It's like, I've tried, woman, but he likes to suicide. Oh, this camera is so much better. This is my first big trip with my new phone, YouTube. I finally upgraded to the second newest iPhone. I used to have an iPhone 10, and now I have a 13, which does much better things.
I have a little Samsung.
He's got a Samsung, which still has a pretty good camera.
It's a 22.
Yeah. Which is, what, the newest or the second newest of their flagship phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's fine.
Last year's.
Yeah. Same age as my 13, so it's fine. But somewhere along here, so with the road being washed out, Nash, now you have to do this extra 6.5 miles to get to the old start of the Forest Service 23. So add 6.5 to 17. That's what, 23 miles to get to the base. Which is why people go up the North Fork Sauk to White Pass and Red Pass instead. Yeah. Which we will do this summer. So North Fork Sauk Trail, which to Mackenzie Camp, which is along the river, is 5 miles. And then you got to go up 2,500 feet to the top of the ridge to White Pass or Red Pass, which is on the Pacific Crest Trail. And I think to get to that one way is like 8 miles. So you're going to be doing a 16-mile round trip day with 3,000 feet of elevation gain. Unga bunga, unga bunga, unga bunga. But the perk is that's half the climb to Glacier Peak, and that's where people set up camp, and you get, you know, full frontal views of Glacier Peak. So it'll be worth it, I promise. And it appears we are going down here, getting off the bench. So soon we will arrive at Black Creek, and then soon after that we will be along the White Chuck River. Alrighty, we have gone a mile and we are here at the crossing of Black Creek on a gorgeous bridge here in the bottomlands. The willows are starting to leaf out. Everything else is not really yet. The salmonberries are, ooh, there's some salmonberry flowers trying. They're trying, give them another week or so and they'll be out, especially next weekend's heat. Oh, the aesthetic. Oh, that would be pretty. That would be pretty. That would be beautiful.
Nice bridge too.
Yeah. Come on, please. Please, for the aesthetic.
So you smash the wood.
No. Oh, that's because it's a pair. Yeah, it's the pair. They probably have a nest nearby. That's probably a mating pair. Dang it, why'd you have to call them off the frickin' log? You turd. So he tapped, that one that was over here tapped on the wood twice, really good and loud. And I was hoping to get video of that, but I don't think their nest is on the top of that snag, but it might be. They usually like to bore into trees. No, I don't think it was in the trail description, so it's a relatively recent addition, but there's a second uphill bench feature. We started down there and you had to switch back up onto this, so methinks there is a relatively recent landslide up here that they had to route the trail around. So be warned, it's not all flat. There's a couple of smallish ups you got to deal with, but it gets your heart pumping a little bit. Nash is getting pretty artsy fartsy pictures.
I'm getting artsy fartsy today.
Yeah.
Oh, not that one.
Nope.
Oh no!
Yeah. It's April, it'll grow again.
He'll go back.
It's got the next 6 months to grow, it'll be fine. Swampy swamp? Maybe. Yeah, that huckleberry shrub's got a metric butt ton of flowers going on it too. Bumper crop here for the huckleberries. Nom 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 nom. Me gonna get nice and buried up here in 4 months. Although down here at this elevation, those will be ready at like 4th of July weekend. So, which I guess is still 2.5 months, so. That almost sounds like a waterfall. Ooh, big trillium. Momentary sidetrack for the trillium. Oh, and it's got a bug on it. No, that's just a leaf. Never mind. That's just a needle. Boisterous?
Little 3-footer waterfall.
So boisterous.
Yeah. It's cute.
Oh yeah. That's pretty. All right, Nash.
Well,
First creek of the year that we have to walk through. You know what that means. Slurp, slurp.
good stuff.
Good, it's tasty, it's good. Just minerally enough.
Yeah.
Fresh. Yum, yum, YouTube. I thought you were peeing for a second. I was like, really? Not in the waterway.
With the video going? Absolutely not.
Oh, that was a good mouthful. Oh yeah. Yep. It's not even that cold either.
Okay, drink up, you two.
Camera's waterproof. All right, let's continue.
Alright, I want to get a picture of the waterfall.
All right. Oh, so scary! Facial hair nice and wet. Back up a little bit, get nashy nash for scale, and then slowly pan up. Ah, it's a big one. Ah, it is a big one, YouTube. Heckin' 8 feet across, at least 700 years old. It's a chunky one. One of the ones that survived, because this was clear cut probably 70 years ago, 60, 70 years ago. And we've seen a lot of big old cedar stumps, but haven't seen very many big trees. Well, here's one of them. And yes, we're way above the river again. So hopefully we'll get back down and get some good
Sounds like we are at this point.
up close river shots. Yeah, as I speak, we start going downhill again. Maybe. So we shall see. And sunshine, shadow on the tree. Oh, it's trying. It's trying. Creek, creek, creek. Little burbling creek. Coming down off the mountain. Burble, burble, burble. Sweet. Swim hole. Hiya! That one needs to get trimmed. Back in the bottomlands, the river is within reach. Everything is covered in moss and tree litter. Making for a very damp and slippy go of it. And yet, over almost 4 miles into our trek, we still have not got within touching distance of the river, much to our disappointment. Well, we're almost 5 miles into this trail, and this is about as close as we've gotten to the river. So if you're looking for a riverside trail, this ain't it. We've been within earshot of the river most of the time, but we have not gotten close to it. The closest we've gotten to it was that landslide scarp at the very beginning. So yeah, a little disappointed, but you know, good adventure nonetheless. Plus, it's kind of slim pickings this time of year, so you take what you can get. especially if you don't want to do the same trails over and over again. Sometimes it's a good trail, sometimes it's a dud. Uh-oh. Fun time! Oh. Well, as you can tell, winters are rough out here. This was freshly brushed and cleared last summer. But to the trail crew's credit that was out here, most of the trail has been really nice. This is the worst, oh God, almost fell backwards. This is the worst blowdown we have found so far. Usually it's just been a tree across here or there, and not a very big tree. That was the worst. And no, that was not planned for turning the video on. I just turned it on, talk about how agonizingly close, yeah, far away we were from the river. That was not planned. I had no idea that was there. Because we don't plan this beforehand, we just go. Well, I mean, we plan it in the fact that in the sense that we read about it and try to figure out what the trail is going to be like, but for like a sense of walking out going, ooh, this is a cool spot, turn around, walk back to set up camera shots, no, we don't do that. A view of the river?
What?
Maybe. Put that there. Yeah, that's a nice little sitting spot.
This is our bench.
Shh.
This is the white chuck bench right here.
Yeah. The famous white chuck bench. Well, the river's over there.
We need to be over there.
Yeah, well, we gotta cross it eventually, so. At this point, that'll probably be our best bet.
We gotta be getting close.
Yeah. Yes, YouTube, this is what this trail is like. Up on elevation, far away from the river. Most of the time you can barely hear it, let alone see it. Just cruising through the forest. Loud Creek. This isn't Crystal Creek though. Crystal Creek is going to be the next one. Uh-oh. There's no bridge across this. This might get interesting. Very creepy. Fresh cribbing there.
Nothing exciting.
Yeah. As you can tell, YouTube Nash is a little fed up with the lack of river on the trail. Should be Crystal Creek, and then shortly the river.
Bridge.
Yeah, this one's got a nice bridge over it. It's a big creek. Just got to figure out where the trail is. What the hell? I see you going down, so.
Yeah, I can get down here.
Jesus Christ. A little bit of fresh maintenance needs to be done. And if you eat poop from here, the trail's right there. Keep eating poop under the trail. Pretty, pretty. Pretty, pretty. This is quite the wigglage to get down there. Damn it. And from here it is half mile to the bridge over the White Chuck River and the parking lot for the other trailhead. And when we get to the White Chuck River itself, that's where we will have lunch and hang out and then make our way back. Alrighty, after much zigging and zagging back and forth, it has taken us 3.5 hours to complete this. Says we ended up at the right spot, but the road is supposed to be over. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we made a big circle around that. Yeah. This ain't no 6.5 mile trail anymore.
Nope.
Holy crap. This is like an 8 mile trail. I'm gonna track that on my phone when we leave. Cause yeah, we're not in the same kind of shape we were when we were 18, but and there was a lot of blowdown, but that should not have taken us 3.5 hours to complete.
Well, we didn't think it would. You know, we didn't think
No.
the trail was going to be that.
Yeah, we didn't think the trail was going to be that.
If it was what we thought it was, it would have taken us way less time.
Yeah, but
The trail, not
it's definitely not as advertised, but we're gonna go find ourselves a spot along the river to grub
nice log
and
right there.
shoot a long exposure. Yes, it is. And I will post that long exposure right there, but I'm gonna go hunt up a spot. The end of it's right there if you want to go around. Let's see here. Shit. The only way you get on that sandbar is to walk the log, and that looks great. Although Nash might be jumping across right there. I think you gotta go under the log. Ugh. Glacier Peak trails. Huh? Yeah. Glacier Peak trails. Difficult. Wild. Strenuous. And probably irritating. Oh god. Hump the damn log. But yeah. Hi dip dip. Dip 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 dip. Dip 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 dip. Well, I think this is maybe the only thing we do today.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I like it though.
Yeah. Look, Crystal Creek dumps out right there. Took us half an hour to go from there to here.
That's alright though.
Yeah.
At least it was exciting on the way down.
'Twas a learning experience. This log is sketch, bro.
Not really.
Blue sky.
Yeah.
We might get blessed with some blue sky. That'd be nice. For our trials and tribulations. Ow. Shit.
Anyway.
Don't put your leg in the puddle. Ugh. All right. We're gonna call that good, YouTube. We're gonna be looking that way for our long exposure. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, YouTube, it is 2:50 and we are leaving the far side of the White Chuck Bench Trail to head back, and according to this sign it says 6 miles back to Clank. And I flatly don't believe that, so I'm going to track our distance on my iHike app and see what it says. Now this is not following step by step like what Apple Watches and other fitness watches do. They don't count your steps and go, oh, your average step is blah 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 for your height, so your average distance blah blah blah. This is actually tracked by GPS. I've gone out and find Lots of USGS and DOT benchmarks for surveying for this, and I've put in the lat and long on it, and it's always gotten to me within like 30 feet, and it says plus or minus 15 feet on here. So plus or minus 15 feet is within 30 feet. So yeah, this thing's pretty damn good. So if this says we go like 8.5 miles, which is, I'm saying it felt like 8.5 miles, but I'm thinking it's more like 7 3/4,
Yeah,
and not 6.5 like the book says. This is me just trying to say I hope I'm not as fat as as this is saying we are, because it took us almost 3 hours to do this 6.5 mile hike, and it's flat.
Trail was a lot more extensive than we thought.
Yeah, there is a lot of blowdown from here to Crystal Creek. It also says Crystal Creek's only a half mile from here, and it's definitely not. It is a lot longer than that. So we are going to go track and delete entire track. Oh, that was left over from St. Helens. The track on here is left over from St. Helens. And we are going to go always going now.
I hope I can push over that snag.
Is it tracking? No, it's not tracking. There we go. Now it's tracking. Alrighty, we are tracking. Yes, we are tracking. And we started at, what is that, 1520 feet. Pretty skunk cabbage. Skunk cabbage and trilliums, usually the first flowers of the season. First things after the snow melt down here at low elevation.
Tiny little hemlocks.
What?
Like tiny little hemlocks, they're so cute.
Yeah.
So cute.
And then when you get to high elevation, it's usually the avalanche and snow lilies. And those poke up through the snow. But down here it is skunk cabbage and trilliums, and then some other stuff once you get into mid elevations. See? Blowdown. There's a lot of this between here and Crystal Creek. And this is only after one winter, because according to the trail reports and the Forest Service page, they had a trail crew in here that brushed this entire trail out last summer. Which, if they had a trail crew out last summer, I would think they would have tackled this.
Yeah.
Especially since it is only a few hundred feet from the trailhead. And that washout that's preventing you from driving to this upper trailhead wasn't washed out. So, danger. But we also ended up taking 3 long exposures instead of 1. Took the first one from where we ate lunch on that log jutting out into the river, and then I took a split long exposure from up on top of the bridge, first looking downstream and then looking upstream. And then we went to the backside of a roadside camp that's across from the trailhead on the other side of the road, and there was a nice big pool there that's probably a good swimming hole come summertime, and I took a video there. And those will be up the 3 previous days before this, and they will all be in the flowing freshwater playlist under White Chuck River something. But it is time for our slog. And I think I'm going to kill the camera, because you don't need to hear our suffering from this. Yes, YouTube, we are both out of shape. I know I am. I'm probably about 10 pounds heavier than I want to be. So there's a lot more treadmilling and a lot less snacking in my near future. But I do not think this is a 6.5 mile trail anymore. But we shall see. All right, YouTube. I believe it is about time for me to run my outro. We are back at the landslide that gives us great views of looking up the Sauk River Valley. A lot better than they were this morning. So our current mileage, according to iHike, is 7.1 miles. We've been doing it at a 3 mile an average pace. So that means we're just under 2.5 hours in, and we've probably got another 10 or 15 minutes to go. So my claim of 5:45 and 7 3/4 miles might be fucking spot on. Might be spot on, but anyhow, I'll post that as I'm jabbering right now what our actual times were and screenshots of iHikes, so you can see what the carnage is. But I think it's time to run the outro. So thank you for joining us on our little longer than expected river walk on the White Chuck Bench Trail, which instead of being a 6.5 mile hike turned into a almost 8 mile hike, which is understandable. It needed to be rerouted because there's multiple landslides that have taken out the old trail bed. And the only book that had been in print that even talks about this trail is Beyond Mount Si, and I believe that was printed in like 2006 or 2008 or something, so it's 15 to 20 years out of date. And obviously if a trail gets washed out in half a dozen places, you either permanently close the trail and let it disappear into nothing, or you reroute it. Now, I thought I had checked the Forest Service website to confirm the distance, but maybe not. Maybe they say it's actually whatever it is, 7.5 or 8 miles or whatever. But Nash did a little research on his own of this. But I think he just looked up on a hiking website, not the Forest Service website himself, and it said 6.5 miles too. So either my iHike is wildly off, and mine and Nash's tempo is wildly off, because we hike at about a 3 mile an hour pace our entire lives on flattish ground. This has been a pretty flat hike. Or they need to update some informations, because we're going to be almost a mile further than that 6.5 mile distance. But yeah, come hang out with us again soon. Nash is going to be dog sitting here in a little bit for a couple weeks, so throughout the month of May it'll most likely be me doing solo adventuros, which sucks because his birthday is May 8th, but he's going to be dog sitting at that point, so we won't be able to take him out on his birthday this year, so I'll have to make it up to him later, which he wants to go rock climbing, bouldering, so that'll be in the near future, and I'll have to create a new playlist for that. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Go like and follow us on our social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Cooley Outdoors. And let me know what you liked about the video. Let me know what you didn't like about the video. Go watch our shorts, because that seems to be gets all the attention nowadays anyway. And we'll catch you next time. Ciao.